obviously this isn't a weekly vlog, but just bear with me here. I haven't talked about it in a while, but I figured now's a good time to sort of re-explain again my thoughts about how white supremacy and how powerful I think it is. In a little more than a week after being sentenced to absolutely nothing, some incompetent rich criminal is going to become president for the second time because he said ad nauseum that he's going to make life miserable for Mexicans. And some Mexicans was like, "You promise?" What's sad is that in America, rich privilege is so common that to most of us normal folks who would in fact get sentenced for a crime, that if we actually committed a crime, we shrug off what happened with the president as like uneventful at best. But softs, there's still people on the internet and in real life trying to blame the flames of California on black people. Kinda. They're saying DEI or the LGBTQ or POC, or they're basically trying to make it seem like they're trying to fixate this idea that the demographic that they hate is responsible for this tragedy. And this is the kind of stuff I would expect from online racists because their whole personality is, just hating people. But it rings different when it's people who are like considered influential in like right wing media, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's like back in the day, you didn't want a dumb person calling you dumb because there was a bit of a like you did, so you kept your mouth shut when you wanted to say the dumbest thing that you could say. But this era of stupidity nowadays is just so prominent. It's just so like, to put this in perspective, if you're dumb and you say something dumb, there's a great chance that somebody who is dumber than you is going to pay attention to what you're saying and believe you to be 1,000,000% correct simply because they like you. And right wingers know how to compile that. They know how to I don't know how to they know how to utilize that in order to like make themselves some money. And I get it, you know what I'm saying? If you're a capitalist, that's how you get your money or whatever. But it really does scream the words unethical in my brain really loudly to know that these people are riling up and duping stupid people just so they can line their own personal pockets. They're not even trying to fix a problem. They're just like saying, "Hey, those black people are actually very dangerous." And the guy, "Oh my God, he's right. Here's money, save me." You know what I'm saying? And it's like in my brain, I it's like, and the thing is that like I used to get agitated by like the like online right wingers all the time. So I would actually sit back and try to talk to them because once they realize, oh snap, this dude is actually not going to he's not going to okay. So there's this thing. It's called chimping out, right? Like in white supremacist circles, it's called chimping out, and what they do is that they purposely antagonize black people specifically because they want black people to start getting really angry and start typing in all caps and screaming the N word or whatever it is. Like they really want black people to just act a fool when they get attacked. So for them, a chimp out is a victory for them. So when they realize that I won't chimp out to them and I actually start asking them questions, once again I give them the floor and they just realize that they can't dance. That's the whole concept. My issue is that, but it's like, I used to think that online racists, specifically the ones that hated black people, were like, I used to think that they were just dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like they just got fed way too much propaganda, and then they decided to just sort of go off of their own perspectives. And in my brain, I'm thinking to myself, if I have enough conversations with these people, then with at least some of these people, they'll understand that what they're thinking is a little incorrect or just silly sounding, and maybe they'll reconsider their perspectives. That's not always the case, if ever. I have conversations with these people, they double down, triple down, quadruple down, and a lot of them you can sort of tell that they're like 17, 18, 19, so they don't really care about being proven wrong. They just want to laugh at the idea of just saying the N-word to a black dude, or like getting angry, or like saying all these terribly racist things to a black dude, and rather than actually answer questions, they just be more and more inflammatory because once again they're kids and they're being told that this is the right way to think to people who likes their responses. And it's so agitating because it's like, with everything that we know about just people in general, this idea that you dislike black people, or this idea that you dislike people of color, or this idea that you dislike people who are on the sexual spectrum, I call it the sextrum. Like the whole this whole concept, this whole thing that like with everything that we know about America, with everything that we know about American people, with everything that we know about white supremacy, there's still this group of people out here who just says we're great, you're not, you deserve suffering, we don't. And it's like like I said, I can understand children thinking this way, but I figure that it's something that you outgrow when you realize, oh, when you get introduced to so many concepts, are just basically telling you this is not the right way to think. My biggest problem when it comes to white supremacy is that like how malleable it is, because all you have to do is establish some sort of hierarchy and just say these people deserve to be at the top, these people deserve to be at the bottom, these people deserve everything, the people at the bottom deserve nothing, and that's ultimately what white supremacy is. You know what I'm saying? As a very popular, or as somebody told me on TikTok, white delusionism, which I'm going to probably start using from now on because that is clever. That is clever. I'm going to actually post that TikTok on my shorts later because that was good. Like shout out to that lady for saying that. But the fact of the matter is that like there's this whole concept like and it's like white delusionism or white supremacy. It's all just it's malleable because all you have to do is just say who shouldn't be given the reward, who shouldn't be treated well, who shouldn't be like seen as human in our society, who shouldn't, right? Because then you have to resort to white supremacist style tactics in order to answer those questions. The actual answer is white supremacist, but they're not gonna ever. But that's never gonna be the case. I'm just saying, like, and the sad part is that like we've done everything in our power to appease white supremacists for like a century, if not a little bit longer than that, and things still suck, and it's gonna suck even worse. You know what I mean? Like you ever notice how like every single sensitive subject in America is basically like it like you ever notice how like don't talk about that, that's a sensitive subject. It's just code for don't upset the right wingers. You ever notice that? You can't talk about race because it'll upset the right wingers. You can't talk about religion because it'll upset the right wingers. You can't talk about sexuality because it'll upset the right wingers. You can't talk about politics because it'll upset the right wingers. You can't talk about these things. These are like some of the pillars of taboo subjects. And the only reason why they're taboo is because right wingers get upset if you start questioning their entire perspective on things. And right wingers are now your modern day white supremacists. They don't like the idea of being challenged, so they even make challenging them verbally. They make questioning them into some kind of into like some kind of unspoken rule. Like we can't talk about politics or money or any of these things because if we do, the right wingers are gonna hear about us and start getting and get a little angry, getting their feelings about it. And you know what happens when they get in their feelings? Like that's what I'm saying. This is where we're at now, and this is where it gets. This is where we're at now, and it gets really weird because it's that powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my issue is that also I just need y'all to understand something real quick. Like, you can't have all that power and not expect to get questioned about it. You know what I mean? Like, even the dumbest person is gonna be like, well, why didn't I why didn't it work out for me? You know what I'm saying? My biggest problem with the white supremacy and my biggest problem with like racism in general is that like the people who are at the top try to present themselves as the people at the bottom while taking advantage of every single opportunity that they have, even if it's just the opportunity to just feel good. It's like if they can feel good at the misfortune of another person, that to them is just the famous Lyndon B. Johnson quote, right? But my issue is that like these people don't even benefit from like racists don't even benefit from white supremacy because if that was the case there wouldn't be any poor white people in America and there's plenty of them. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I hate to say it, I feel like once because everybody else who's smart enough to challenge white supremacy has already challenged it and lost. I hate to say that, but I do feel like as soon as a racist and as soon as like white supremacists realize that white supremacy isn't helping them, it's just giving rich people more money. I feel like as soon as they realize that, that's gonna be the civil war that everybody is gonna be talking about. You're gonna have all of these poor white people who like devoted their lives to white supremacy and racism and making life miserable for people of color and all the demographics that they hate, challenging the billionaire elite that they give money to. Because like they're gonna like, and that's and everybody else is gonna have to just sit back and watch. I just don't like this idea that I just don't like this idea that right now there's still a subculture of people who are seeing exactly how bad white supremacy is actually hurting the country, and the first thing that they say is, well, black people, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's like, you're the ones who's going out here doing all the terrible stuff. It's all of your fault. You're the ones who are bad. And my whole thing is that, like, what power do we have to do anything, bro? You guys are literally about to rule the country in like in less than a week. In about a week. It's crazy. That's all I'm saying, though, man. Like, I really do feel like at this point, I really do wish that like white supremacists realize that how white supremacy is hurting them, probably more than everybody else. Because everybody else, we know what we're getting. You know what I'm saying? We know what we're gonna get out of this ordeal. We know how we know what's gonna happen to us. But the white supremacists, they're gonna be the ones with the shocked expression on their face, and they realize, wait, they're gonna hurt us too. They're taking our money as well. I I didn't think that I didn't think that was gonna happen. Why didn't you think that? But like also, but can we outgrow racism, please? Can we just outgrow racism? Can we just like can a skin color can somebody else's skin color not be upsetting to you? Can a black person just like not be a problem for you? Can black people stop being your scapegoat? Can Mexicans stop being your scapegoat? Can you stop? Can we stop with this whole let's make life miserable for people who aren't white concept? Can we just stop that? Because like I get it because it's like getting angry about colors is not mature. It's not an adult thing to do. It's just not. I mean, I rather be angry about somebody. I rather be angry at somebody because of what they do. That's all I'm saying. Rather than like what they look like or what their skin color is or what language they speak or what religion they have. I would much rather be upset at somebody for what they do. Well, if that's the case, then why don't you stop being mad at white people? I'm not mad at white people. I'm mad at white supremacists. Anybody can be a white supremacist. Nuh-uh. Why do you not think that? All right, I'm out. I better go get ready for work. Love and peace.